G'day everyone, I'm Smokescreen and welcome back to another video, and here we go with a guide for license test S-1 in Gran Turismo 7, driving the Lamborghini Aventador at high speed ring. So if you're struggling with this particular one, this is the video for you to be watching. I figure these longer license tests in the S license category are pretty good to try and make some guides on, because the full laps are pretty conducive to making a good track guide, lap guide, showing the tips, tricks, little hints, racing lines, apexes, braking points, all that sort of thing to try and help you get gold. So strap in, pay attention, and I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay, so this is my lap. First thing I'm going to show is the full speed lap of my particular record here. So what we're doing, looking into turn 1, using the marshal post on the right hand side. As you turn in marker, follow the outside edge of the track and shift up to 7th, and then turn in and come down for the later apex. This braking zone is tricky, but braking just before the 200 meter board into turn 2. So to get that turn, you don't quite have to touch the curb if you don't want to. I'm sure you can probably go faster if you do, but this particular instance was completely fine. Braking just before the 100 meter board, down a couple of gears, into third. You can take a relatively late apex for these two sweepers. As you can see, I'm just overtaking my Ghost there by getting a better exit. Nice and wide for the entry to turn 4, shifting up to 4th halfway through and just trying to get on the throttle. The car's going to oversteer, so you'd be ready for that. And then coming up through turn 5, make sure this turn is as wide as possible to carry as much speed, and then braking just on the 50 meter board. Start narrow, bring it out to the outside, try and meet the outside apex just in front of that marshal post again, and then come down for the later apex, pretty similar to how we do in turn 1. And then it's just a straight dash to the finish line here at high speed ring, and my particular lap time now is a 1 minute 10.8 versus the gold time of a 1 minute 12.1. So I've shown you my quick lap here. I'm now going to go through nice and slowly. I'm going to jump on track, go through all the little points, tips, tricks that I use to get this car around high speed ring. So we are going to go nice and slow. Okay, so coming into turn 1 here at high speed ring, you're going to be approaching this at full throttle. This corner can be taken flat out, 100% throttle, no braking. The first marker I look for, as I'm over on the right hand side of the track here, I'm looking for this marshal box up the top here. So where the marshals are standing in their little post, that's sort of my turning point. So that's where I begin turning and following the outside track edge all the way up high, full throttle, remember, keeping it in 6th. And as we get to about here, the end of the billboards, let's say, I begin to turn down to the apex, shift up to 7th gear, meet the apex, full throttle all the way out to the exit. You're going to be really close to this barrier. Don't hit it though, otherwise it will invalidate the attempt. So coming up towards turn 2 now as well, looking on the right hand side. Oh my goodness, I've driven straight past it as I'm not paying attention. You're looking for the 200 meter board, and you're braking somewhere between this dark shadow here in front of the track, this dark shadow right there, just after the dark shadow, before the 200 meter board, hard on the brakes. You can choose either 4th or 3rd, but go down quite quickly to get a lot of engine braking, and you want to open up the corner. So I tend to go half onto this green, get it slowed down for the corner, and then turn in nice and gently on the throttle, meet the apex and try and get on the power. You'll be exiting in 4th gear. You make sure you want to exit in 4th, so you can use 3rd for the turn in and upshift to 4th through the turn, or you can just use 4th for the whole thing. And then we're going to come across the first sector split. Coming up towards turn 3, this is the handling section of high speed ring. You're braking just before that 100 meter board up on the left. Make sure you brake before it. If you brake on it or after, you're going to go deep. Make sure you brake before it. And we're going to be coming in here, downshifting. I think you're at 5th gear by the time you're hitting the braking point. So make sure you downshift to 4th and then eventually 3rd. Don't do 3rd too early or the back will step out. You want to come in for a nice late apex. I've got the corner markers on here so you can kind of see the apexes you're going for. You want to come in quite late for a 3rd gear apex, gently on the throttle. The car is going to want to oversteer. And then take this corner relatively wide. I'm probably a little bit too wide here, but partway through this corner, upshift to 4th. and then gently get on the power on the exit. Look how close this barrier on the exit comes up to you. Once you hit that, that's lap invalidated, so you have to be really careful with that. So just gently on the throttle. The car is going to want to oversteer on the exit of that corner back there, so you have to be really, really careful on the throttle. Turn 5 now, it can actually be taken easy flat. Make sure you open up the turn by taking that nice wide entry and try and meet the curb basically where the corner marker is. Get up onto the curb and then just before the 50 meter board or just on the 50 meter board begin to brake. The back end is going to want to step out like that because you're banked up like that. The car's going to want to slide down the banking as you hit the brakes. So you kind of have to be ready to turn, get ready to counter it. You know, input some steering to try and not get that to happen. And your goal is you're trying to take a similar approach to turn 1, up nice and high, and then you're going to cut down late for the apex right at the end to get an excellent run out onto the main straight. What I was finding was happening to me quite frequently is as I was sliding down the banking as I was braking and taking this entry too narrow. It's not detrimental because I think on my 10.8 I did that slightly, so it's okay. But your main goal is you're going to be looking right on the outside of the track. There's a marshal box. There's another marshal box with a corner marker in front of it. That's what you're looking to be your sort of mid-apex. You want to be up high, marshal box with the corner marker, and now I want to begin to get on the throttle. You've been 4th gear. Try and meet the curb here, and then flat out on the exit, and don't hit the barrier. And that is a lap of high-speed ring in the Lamborghini Aventador. So I'm now going to take things a little bit faster. You know, try and piece the lap together. We might not go full speed here, but we'll go a lot quicker than we just did. Alright, so coming into turn 1 here, you're going to be flat out, marshal box, and then turn in, follow the out. Oh dear, see that's what can happen though. If you get up on top of the banking, the track flattens out, your car can get stuck up there. So I'll try that one more time. It's probably a good thing I made that little mistake there, because I was able to tell you that little bit of information. We'll turn my ghost off, we don't want to worry about that. So, marshal box on the right, follow the outside track, shift up to 7th, end of the billboards, begin to come down for the apex. So you can see I'm going to make that corner beautifully. Okay, coming up here after the shadow but before the 200. 4th gear, open up the corner, and then come in for the corner like this. Try and get on the throttle. The car's going to want to oversteer, so be ready for that. And then coming up towards turn 3, just before the 100 meter board. Remember, 100 down to 4th, down to 3rd. Come in for the apex, right where the corner marker is. Gently on the throttle, and then gently on the brake again. Upshift to 4th to get a late apex out of this corner because of how tight the exit is. See, I wasn't even able to get on the throttle properly there. Now, this corner is really difficult. Nice and open for turn 5. You want to meet the curb. You'll be going flat out just before the 50. Dab of the brakes. Down to 4th. Follow the outside track edge out. Don't hit the barrier. And then come down for the apex. That wasn't the tidiest run through there. But we'll go through one more time. Try and extract max pace out of it. I won't be able to match my 10.8, but let's see if we can at least beat the gold time on this particular lap right now, because that's your ultimate goal, isn't it? That's why you're watching this. We won't worry about the ghost. Get ready for the oversteer, because it's going to happen. Now, just before the 100. It's okay. Come back for the late apex, and you can rescue a corner like that. Upshift to 4th. We've missed the apex there, but we're coming down late. Don't hit that barrier. Nice and wide for turn 5. And then just before the 50. Up high for the final turn, and then cut back down. And that's a lap of high-speed ring. The car's quite loose on the sports mediums, but let's see if we can beat the gold time at least. And we have. There you go, an 11.2. So that's going to wrap up this video today. So let me know in the comments if this guide helped you out in any way. And do hit the like button if you enjoyed. Do subscribe if you'd like to see more S-license guides. But that's going to finish up this video today, and that means that is it from me. So once again, I do thank you very much for watching. See you later.